Hi, I'm going to be doing a quick video review of the Save Game Copier by Slinga Homebrew. It's a Sega Saturn utility that runs like any other piece of software on your Saturn, and it's capable of copying save games back and forth between internal memory, if you have a memory cartridge installed, or in this case what we're going to be demonstrating is copying them back and forth between the satiator, or more to the point, the SD card on your satiator. In order to get this to work, basically the only thing that you need to do is to create a directory on the root of your SD card called saves in all caps. That's what the save game copier is looking for, and you'll find all that out if you take the time to read through the instructions here, but I'm just giving you a quick version of how to get up and running really fast. So as you come here, if you want to get up and running really quick, you can click on Releases, this link over here at the top of the README, and then expand Assets. And then all you really need to do is copy this game.iso. You can copy both the game ISO and the game.q, and that's for burning this to a disk, but the satiator is also capable of just launching the ISO directly without needing the Q file as well. One other thing I'm going to point out before we demonstrate this, if you scroll down on the README, one of the other really cool aspects of this product was developed against the satiator, against an emulated version of the satiator. The creator of this project doesn't even own a satiator and still managed to make this compatible with it. I've tried it, it works great, and we're actually going to demonstrate it here in a minute. Anyway, if you scroll down here, there's also a link to the Save Game Collects project, where you can take the save games that are backed up by this tool, and you can actually upload them to this project. So I think it's a really cool idea, and I think you should check it out. But we're going to go ahead and demo this again. Like I said, the only two things you really need to do is create a directory on the root of your SD card called saves, all caps, and you want to take from Releases, Assets, and copy this game.iso somewhere onto your SD card and launch it with the satiator. Okay, so I have the save game copier copied to my satiator, and real quick here I'm just going to take a look at the internal memory through the BIOS memory manager. And as you can see here, I've got my save files, and all of these basically this is all the files that I have on my machine here, and you can tell I don't have any Dracula X files. So I am going to back out, and I'm going to close the lid. If you boot the satiator with the lid open, it goes into the BIOS, so you can get at that part. And I have copied the save game copier to this directory, and it comes as an ISO Q. You can just copy the ISO, you don't have to put both of them on there. Either one of them works. So I'm going to go ahead and boot into the save game copier, and it gives you this very basic menu here. What we can do is I can take a look at what's on the satiator already. I've already got some files there. As you can see, I've got my Dracula X save, and Grandia and Linkle Liver Story as well. So I'm going to back out here, and I have copied this to the internal memory. And if I back out now, I look at the internal memory, and my Dracula X save is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to power cycle the Saturn to get back into the satiator menu, so that we can confirm that my file was captured, or my file was copied there. And this is the 4 megabyte hack for Symphony of the Night. Hopefully it recognizes my RAM cartridge and just boots. There we go. Go ahead and skip all this.
And there we go. Save game has been restored from the satiator back to the internal memory.
And in closing, I just wanted to touch on one more thing about the save game copier. So Bob from RetroRGB had mentioned to me that he thought this utility would be really great for getting people out of the business of the FRAM mods for their Saturn, which is basically where you replace the normal SRAM in your Saturn with something that will save or that will maintain game saves without requiring a battery. There's right now the way that the satiator works, it would be a little bit weird to try to use it that way. The scenario that he envisioned was to boot your Saturn up and then quickly copy the files using the save game copier to the internal memory, and then go ahead and load your game, and then before you were finished, go ahead and copy them back onto the satiator. So I think there was mention, Professor Abrasive talked about possibly adding functionality back to or into an action replay firmware that might do something similar to that. But for right now, it would be a little bit tricky to try to pull that off with the software the way that it works, because in order to switch games with the satiator right now, you do have to do like a full power cycle. And the SRAM, if your battery is completely flat, when you power cycle it, there is a chance that you will immediately lose your game save data there. Usually, though, in my experience, it does last for a couple of seconds with the power off, so conceivably you could copy the game save from the satiator to your internal memory, and then quickly power cycle the Saturn, and it should stay there long enough for you to boot the game up and play it. And then when you're finished playing the game, quickly power cycle the Saturn and go back into the save game copier to move your save game back. I wouldn't recommend trying that if it's a really important save, but as a novelty, it could possibly work right now.